This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Things are going to look different in our schools, at church, and throughout our daily lives for the foreseeable future. We all have a responsibility to do our part in keeping our loved ones, our neighbors, and our friends safe, and we cannot relax our guard.
First at 11, a message from the state health commissioner to Hoosiers as the governor announces Indiana's back on track plan will not advance to stage 5 this weekend. Good evening to you at 11 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. Today, Governor Holcomb stressed we will stay in stage 4.5 through at least the end of the month. The decision comes as the state experiences some COVID-19 trends that the health commissioner calls concerning. Dr. Christina Bach says the number of positive cases has gone up for the second straight week, and the 7-day positivity rate has steadily increased since June. It was just over 4% as of June 18th, just over 6% the week of July 4th, and around 7% as of July 11th. Dr. Bach says testing capacity is becoming an issue again, in part because of supply and demand issues caused by spikes in other states.
We know residents are experiencing longer waits to get their test results and that they don't know what to do in the meantime. These are external factors that are beyond our control, and we have become skilled at adapting to them. Despite these challenges, we are able to expand our free testing this week with an additional 11 sites around the state.
Anyone who lives or works in Indiana can get a free COVID test through the state. There are no other requirements. You can register at lhi.care/COVID testing or by calling 888-634-1116. Walk-ins are also accepted. And more than 586,000 people have been tested for COVID-19 in Indiana. 2,592 people in the state have died from the virus.
At today's weekly briefing, Governor Holcomb answered questions about schools reopening. He says he met with the Indiana State Teachers Association yesterday.
We're all in constant communication about, yes, those protocols and that guidance and making sure that there is resources. Another thing that was brought up in that meeting, and I think it was a spot on, is making sure that schools have access to the resources they need to make sure they're clean and safe for students and faculty, teachers, superintendents, et cetera, to be in those buildings.
The governor says he is strongly against withholding funding if schools decide not to offer in-person classes. Another central Indiana school district will begin the school year completely virtual. Anderson Community Schools will start online instruction on August 5th. The board hopes to return to in-person classes around Labor Day. Many local school districts have announced their 2020-21 back-to-school plans, and so far, most will offer in-person and virtual options.
Universities and families of college students are also facing changes as the fall semester approaches. RTV6's Cornelia Soccer shows you the challenges they're facing and the trend experts are seeing among college-aged Hoosiers.
Lucia and Arshad Zafar know this school year is going to be very different for both their daughters. Sophia is heading to 8th grade, but their oldest daughter, Malia, is heading back to IU, and the pandemic is changing the way they plan to see each other.
I see a lot of trips to Bloomington for us going to Bloomington to go see her.
They can't take any chances because they don't want to risk bringing the virus back to their Oma, who's 86 years old.
She has some underlying health issues, so every time we go to see her, we're always, with our masks on and things, social distance. I don't think any of us has given her a hug in like 3 months, and we're all huggers, so that's probably the roughest part of it all.
To keep her family safe when they visit, Malia plans to do this.
But all of my classes are online, so I'll probably just try and stay in my apartment as much as possible. Definitely get outside and go on runs and stuff. Probably won't be attending the gym or anything. Malia
says she and her Alpha Sig sorority sisters are going to be very careful because they know COVID is in Bloomington, and many of their classmates are not taking it as seriously as they are, especially when it comes to partying and the bars.
And I know 2 weeks ago or maybe 3 weeks ago now, one of their bartenders tested positive for COVID. And I'm still seeing on people's Snapchat stories 2 days later, people were going there and hanging out with their friends. And I was like, how can you in good conscience go there even for your own safety?
And that's a big issue, according to Brian Dixon with the Regan Street Institute, a research organization in Indianapolis.
Parents need to talk to their kids about is that, hey, if you're going to go out and you're going to party and you're not going to take precautions, then you might need to stay away.
Regan Street has a COVID-19 dashboard where they compile data about the virus from across the state. In these recent weeks, there has been an increase in positive tests for those younger than 30.
Yeah, we are absolutely concerned that younger people, even though they individually are not affected in terms of needing hospitalization and extreme care, that they will kind of carry it to coworkers or people that they spend time with, their parents.
That's why the Savars, like many families with school-age kids, are not taking any chances, hoping everyone else does the same.
If you enjoy being on campus and you enjoy your ability to go out and see people and get your studies done and work and play and do all those things, that it benefits everyone for everyone to be careful.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
And students returning to IU must be tested for COVID-19, whether they live on or off campus. Masks will also be required, and a lot of the classes will be taught virtually.
And now to the forecast. Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory joining us now, tracking the return of rain. Kevin.
And it's good to have rain without the severe weather threat. The severe weather threat isn't zero, but it's unlikely we'll have any strong to severe storms tonight. Some may have some gusty winds, lightning, and certainly pockets of heavy rainfall. The leading edge of the rain is now in downtown Indy, but this initial area is only about 30 miles wide, so it will rain less than an hour in any one spot. Show you the line stretches up to really lower Michigan, but Monticello through Logansport, then down through the metro area, and here's the southwest edge, and you do see some additional rain filling in back behind that line, so we're not quite done with the rain yet. As far as overnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, a line of showers, isolated thunderstorms rolling to the east. Again, not expecting to be severe during the day tomorrow. The chance for additional rain is there first thing in the morning, but then low chances after that. Still to come, we've got to talk about our hot stretch when temperatures reach the mid-90s and a heat index of 105.
A protest tonight in downtown Indianapolis briefly blocked streets as demonstrators called for justice in the cases of Drejon Reed and Mikhail Rose, two men shot and killed by IMPD officers in the same 24-hour period. On May 6th, IMPD says Drejon Reed exchanged fire with officers following a chase. His family's legal team says Reed did not shoot at the officers involved. A gun found near his body matched the weapon seen in a Facebook live stream during the chase that led to the shooting. Reed's case is in the hands of a special prosecutor. And Mikhail Rose was killed after exchanging gunfire with 4 officers early in the morning of May 7th. The officers were responding to reports of a burglary. The chief of police has said the incident might have been a planned ambush. WRTV's Cameron Riddle has been covering protests since the night those shootings happened, and demonstrators tell him they will not stop until justice is served.
Well, if you thought the protests in downtown Indianapolis had come to an end for good, the protesters here would like you to know that you are wrong. More than 3 months after the police action shootings of Drejon Reed and Mikhail Rose, which both happened within hours of each other, protesters are still using the streets of Indianapolis to make their voices heard and call for more transparency in the case of the police shooting of 2 young black men. Tonight, Black Lives Matter protesters with Indy 10 made their way throughout the streets of Indianapolis, chanting the demands that you have heard them ask over the past 3 months. Among them, release the officer's name. They say, check on that. Fire the officers who shot both Drejon and Mikhail. That has not happened. They also would like more transparency, releasing the autopsy to the families, giving more clarity into what exactly happened back on that night. Protesters say until that happens, they will continue to be in the streets in some form or fashion.
Did he fund IMPD? Stop killing black people, fire the officers who killed Drejon and Mikhail, release the autopsy report to the families, and release a 911 report. But I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon, so until it stops, we'll be out here.
Now, the protest is just one of several ways that the demonstrators with Black Lives Matter and Indy 10 are making their voices heard. Coming up on August 1st, there will be a block party as the words Black Lives Matter is painted on the street of Indiana Avenue, as well as the pictures of some of Indy's young black men who who have been lost to police action shootings. Downtown, I'm Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
The United Way of Central Indiana is making an effort to help educate the community about the roots of racism. A 4-part series of virtual seminars started tonight. The first topic, health. Panelists discuss systemic issues that lead to healthcare disparities and bias in the industry.
Where we get the miss from our providers is, oh, you must not be having healthy habits, and that's why you have hypertension.
Absolutely.
Or are you not in compliance with your diabetes? I told you to do this medicine for your diabetes, and you got to do this diet. You can't have so much carbohydrates. And they don't have a clue that there's no grocery store in my neighborhood. I can go to a gas station, but there ain't no fruits and vegetables in that gas station necessarily. So then you document in the medical chart, I've got a non-compliant patient, and every doctor after that says, oh, I've got a difficult patient I'm dealing with. So if that's not racism, I don't know what is.
Some states are now mandating implicit bias training for the entire state, for instance, the state of Michigan. So I think understanding that we actually have an issue, because a lot of people, frankly, don't think this is an issue. A lot of my own colleagues don't see this as an issue. Funding. I think money at the end of the day is critical to this, and I think we need to make sure we support our legislatures in terms of how do we better fund these social economic discrepancies that we see.
The next seminar is Wednesday, August 19th. The topic will be housing. For more information, go to uwci.org.
New at 11, details on the shooting in Brownsburg Tuesday that left 2 men dead. Police say 22-year-old Joshua Hayes attacked 36-year-old Seth Robertson unprovoked. Investigators say Hayes initially shot at Robertson and another man as the two worked in the Brownsburg cemetery. They tried to run away, but police say Hayes shot and killed Robertson on North Grant Street near 56th. When Hayes went after the second man, police say a bystander shot and killed Hayes to try and stop him. Officials say a motive is unclear and there is no known connection between Hayes and the victims.
Next, a Central Indiana woman is accused of extreme animal abuse. How people more than 1,800 miles away tipped off investigators. And just ahead here.
Let's stop this nonsense and figure out how can we get our control over this now.
Dr. Fauci fights back. The nation's leading infectious disease expert responds after multiple attacks from White House officials.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Concerned citizens in Idaho helped alert investigators to an animal cruelty case in central Indiana. The FBI raided a home on South 300 West in Kokomo yesterday. Now this afternoon, federal attorneys announced the arrest of 19-year-old Crystal Scott. She's accused of posting videos of herself torturing and killing cats and dogs. She's charged with making and distributing animal crush videos. That's a video that shows the extreme mutilation, torture, and killing of animals. Police in Boise contacted the FBI after getting several tips.
Dr. Anthony Fauci is publicly defending himself after repeated attempts from White House officials to discredit him. ABC's Alex Perche has the latest tonight from Washington.
After days of attacks from White House officials, Dr. Anthony Fauci is saying enough is enough.
Let's stop this nonsense and figure out how can we get our control over this now.
The latest shot coming from the president's trade advisor, Peter Navarro, who has no medical experience at all. Navarro writing an article in USA Today saying Anthony Fauci has been wrong about everything I have interacted with him on.
I can't explain Peter Navarro. He's in a world by himself, so I don't even want to go there. And I think if you talk to reasonable people in the White House, they realize that was a major mistake on their part because it doesn't do anything but reflect poorly on them.
President Trump, who's also been publicly critical of Fauci, distancing himself today from the Navarro comments.
Well, he made a statement representing himself. He shouldn't be doing that. No, I have a very good relationship with Anthony.
Navarro's piece comes just days after the White House press office gave reporters a document critical of Fauci. And yesterday, the president's deputy chief of staff of communications, Dan Scavino, posted this cartoon mocking Fauci on Facebook. Fauci clearly taken aback by the attacks.
It is a bit bizarre. I don't really fully understand it.
The nation's top infectious disease expert continues to serve on the White House coronavirus task force. but believes these digs undermine the government's efforts fighting the pandemic.
It distracts from what I would hope would be the common effort of getting this thing under control, rather than this back and forth distraction, which just doesn't make any sense.
It also doesn't make much sense to the top Republican in the Senate, who had this to say today.
What's your level of confidence in Dr. Fauci at this point?
Total. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
And it's still undecided if all voters across Indiana will be allowed to vote by mail in the November election. Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb was asked about that during today's weekly news conference.
I will be meeting with the Secretary of State on this issue. Where I stand is, and I am just one of those old-fashioned guys, I guess, that likes to vote in person, and I also wanted to just see with my own two eyes if it could be pulled off safely, and I voted here in Marion County, obviously, and it was. I think one thing that we should consider, if we're still in the, numerically speaking, if we're still in this scenario, we should, and if we have the ability to, and I think we can, we should have more election day options, which would help in lines, etc.
Last week, a company that prints mail-in ballots told WRTV states and counties need to decide now if a majority of residents will be able to vote by mail. We have reached out to the governor's office about this issue. We will let you know if we get a response.
Parts of Broad Ripple, Mass Ave, and Georgia Street will stay closed through Labor Day at least. The Department of Public Works announced the extension today. The streets have been closed to parking and drivers since May to make room for outdoor dining to help people social distance while they're walking around. This is the second extension of the closures. DPW says it's reviewing how to make additional parking available on Mass Ave. Now here's Kevin with your Storm Team 6 forecast. Hey, Kevin.
It is warm out still, Mark. 80 degrees. We have rain downtown Indianapolis. That wind out of the southeast at 12. Temperatures tomorrow will stay in the 80s, but then look what happens. Consistently 90 degrees or above, peaking over the weekend. And the heat index value, when you factor in that humidity, will be as warm as 105. That should be on Sunday, but we'll still be over 100 with the heat index on Saturday. Well, tonight we've got thunderstorms and rain. Good old rain from central Indiana to the north. The thunderstorms are approaching the Vincennes area. This is zipping along to the east. It's a fairly thin line, and it will continue to thin as it moves to the east. Not everybody's going to see rain from that. Fills in a little bit back to the west, and then here are some stronger thunderstorms. May have an isolated wind gust with that coming in around Vincennes down to Evansville along Interstate 64. For the remainder of really the 7-day forecast, almost a daily chance for showers and thunderstorms, but it is a low chance. You can see over the next several days, 20 to 30%. That's really it. An isolated shower, rumble of thunder to start your day tomorrow. Lots of clouds around. Temperatures will be kept cooler in the 80s because of the cloud cover, and a spotty shower or two, which will last through the day. Temperatures from the mid-80s barely to about 86 in Columbus and Terre Haute. Friday, we turn it the other way. Just a 20% chance for a thunderstorm. Temperature up to 90. The humidity starting to climb. That's the headline for the weekend. Heat and humidity combination. About the only thing that cools us off during the afternoon will be an isolated thunderstorm, but you can see with those probabilities, not that likely. Sunday, the warmest day at 95 degrees. Saturday, that chance for thunderstorms, temperature at 93. And again, the heat index values will reach 100 to 105. Next week, thunderstorm chances become more widespread. Temperatures, they start to cool a little bit. The better rain chance, more cloud cover, the tougher it is to warm up. Temperature 86 in the middle of next week. Here's a 7-day planner. Again, you may hear a rumble of thunder overnight. Thunderstorms continue into the morning hours, then decreasing chance of rain tomorrow. Then Friday through Monday, low to mid-90s each day, all 7 days. Temperatures at 70 or above for overnight lows, with a daily chance of thunderstorms as well. I hear the music, you hear the music. That means we'll be right back after this.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Will he or won't he? That's the question tonight about Pacers star Victor Oladipo. As the team returned to practice today after a day off, there is growing optimism Oladipo will play when the season resumes. He originally said he was not going to play to avoid re-injuring his leg, but that was before he started working out with the team in Orlando.
You know, coming down here and, getting some practices in, getting my feet under me, going out there playing with the guys. There's a possibility that I could play. I'm definitely trying to. So I'm coming out here and working every day, working hard every day, trying to help my team, trying to help myself.
Well, the Pacers play Portland a week from tomorrow in their first scrimmage of the resumed season.
Well, now to football. The high school season is scheduled to begin on August 21st. Workouts have started around the state. Center Grove is a favorite to win the championship if teams actually take the field. Sports Director Dave First with the Sports Extra Spotlight tonight.
You better get up early to beat Center Grove to the practice field. Trojan workouts begin at 8 a.m., but expectations for this group have seemingly come even earlier.
This team on paper is the best team we've ever had. But we had a 15-0 team that was pretty good, so we can't say they're better than them yet. They're all working on that today.
Head coach Eric Moore enters his 22nd season at CG. He returns nearly everyone from a team that went to the state finals last fall and firmly believes they can make it back this fall.
We tell our kids every year, with us coaching staff here, we got the map to get there. Just trust us, trust me, and believe in us, and it can happen.
But the question is, will they have that chance? Like so many programs around the state, pandemic uncertainty appears to be the only cloud in the blue sky of this offseason.
We take temperatures in the parking lot and make sure nobody gets on the campus that's, not well. A lot of hand washing. Kids bring their own stuff. It's like the Little League football days, except their moms aren't sitting around here.
Full group period now, let's go! Like the game itself, there are sides. Moore is a father, husband, son, and mentor, but also a coach that sees how hard his players have worked. Carson Steele is one of the best running backs in the state. Taven Jackson is a rising star at quarterback. Right there. There you go. Center Grove routinely cleans equipment. Players bring their own towels and water bottles, but the debate still rages at a higher level. To play or not.
I think pretty much all the coaches that coach, you want to be off or on. We're cold and hot. We don't. There's no warm in the middle. Let's either play or not play and be done. But I think we need to give this a chance.
At this point, there are as many options as a wing T formation, but ultimately hoping fall football doesn't become the fall of football.
The frustration about this is playing it out. And would you take only playing 3 games? Yeah, you take what they give you, but the thing about it is you can't keep young kids this age in this middle area. They can't concentrate that way. You got to let's go to school and let's play football.
Playing out a season worth getting up for. Day First, RTV6 Sports.
Join Dave Friday night on the RTV6 Facebook page to honor graduating seniors. He's hosting the National Football Foundation Central Indiana Chapter Annual Scholastic Awards. 15 student athletes from 14 area schools are selected, and there are special honors like the Collegiate and Courage Awards. That's Friday night and at 7:30, only on RTV6 on the Facebook page. We'll be right back.
Again, some of the stronger storms southwest Indiana. Vincennes towards Evansville, central Indiana, isolated thunderstorms, some rain. Tomorrow, rain chances diminish after the morning hours, a high of 86. The 90s after that. Mark?
Thanks for making RTV6 News your choice for news. We'll see you back here tomorrow. GMI comes your way at 4:30.